asked you about your background was because you put that kindness ripple. And today I wanted to talk about embracing optimism, because optimism is something that will ripple as well. You know, our lives are so full of difficulties. It doesn't matter like who you are. It doesn't matter the kind of life you live. You know, we all experience that ebb and flow, you know, of life. And so a lot of times, some people, they could take life with a grain of salt and never lose momentum. They could keep going. It's no problem. But then other people seem like they just fall flat on their face with everything that happens to them. What's the difference between the person that can move on through it and the person that falls flat on their face? What's the difference? Some people are just more optimistic than others. They look at the glass as half full, while others have that more pessimistic outlook, and they see the glass as half empty. And it's all in how you see it, all in how you view things. You know, embracing optimism is a way, you know, it is a huge benefit not only to the mind, but also to the body and spirit as well. You know, if you make a conscious decision to really be more optimistic, you will form new habits, improve your health, and change lives. So I'm so excited to be able to share that, because I know that being optimistic is so powerful. There's so many benefits of being in that thought process, not only for yourself, but for other people too. And so I'm going to show you how to be more optimistic, and, you know, just some good tips that's going to help you to really embrace optimism, you know, in your life. Oh, before I get into that subject, I just want to tell you guys that China has some really huge flooding, and so it's going to impact our food supplies. So there's going to be some shortages. So please pack your houses up with, you know, perishable and non-perishable things. If you have a upright freezer, you need to fill it up. You know, any kind of freezer, you need to fill it up. You know, make sure that you are disaster prepared for your families, making sure that you have everything you need, appropriate water and all that. You know, Faith told us about that food that I'm going to Carolina. Where you at again? Carolina? I'm coming down there with Faith at. Faith got enough food for 5 years. So just making sure that you have everything you need in your house. I just wanted to make sure that I say that, and make sure that you have anything for disaster preparedness, making sure you got your candles, your lanterns, your lights, you know, all those different things. We don't know what's going on, but it's so, yes, the Smith and Wesson. Yes, we don't know what's going on, but it's definitely, we already see evidence in the market. Some of the shelves are empty. Some things have not been stocked up for months. And now with this big thing happening there, they are predicting really big food shortages to come. And so we don't want to ignore these signs. We want to be prepared. So that's not saying to go all crazy. That just means to be prepared. I'd rather you have more than what you need. What they say, I'd rather you have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So you want to make sure that you have your homes stocked accordingly for your families. So let me just go here and let's see. Participants. Did he make me a host? Yes, I am a host. All right, just going to kill some of the background noise. All right, here we go. So we're talking about today embracing optimism in your life, and why that is so important. It's so important to embrace optimism. So many things, you know, are happening to so many of us. And again, you know, some people, you know, things can happen really, really bad and they never miss a beat. And then you have people who, you know, things can happen and then all of a sudden they just lose it and they never get back together, you know. And the difference is how you view things. Optimism makes a big difference in how you see things. So I'm going to talk today about how to build optimism, how to be more optimistic about things that, are happening. Life is busy, and at times it's really, really stressful. Being busy has really become a way of life for, some people. Because of COVID, some of us have gotten to slow down, to calm down. But, more people are looking for ways to opt out of being busy and lead a more stress-less life. They're not selling their belongings and moving to a remote island. They're just choosing to take control of their mindset and how they seem to show up in life. So embracing optimism is shown to have huge benefits on the mind, the body, and the spirit. When you make a conscious decision to be more optimistic, your health can improve. The people around you get more excited to be around you because you are not somebody who's always with the glasses half empty. The glass is always half full. We only have one life. And so the way that you view it determines your quality of life, or how life is for you. We know that we can, look at life and see everything that's wrong. And we know people that live in everything that's wrong. And those people are very, very negative. They're not positive in any way. And so they're constantly watching the news and telling you all the stuff. And it's just like, oh my God, every time I talk to her, it's just really bad. So, you don't want to, we don't want to be around people like that. So, you want to, consider being the beacon of light, being the person that's bringing the optimistic views to everything that is going on around you. Taking on optimism is exactly what our busy brains need. Our brains need help to create positive, to create a positive mindset, to help us to create positive lifestyle. That is the power of optimism. As humans, it's so easy to focus on all that does and can go wrong. After all, it's life, and life happens to all of us. We can't control every situation, every circumstance, but we can control how we handle the twists, the turns, and the peaks and the valleys. That's where optimism comes in handy. There's so much power in it. Being optimistic can make a journey or circumstance or situation more doable. Situations like job loss, that's never a situation that feels good, but tackling it from an optimistic, a hopeful point of view gives you, it helps you to look at it differently. Like you can look at it like, oh my God, I don't have no job, and now what am I going to do? So you can whine and you can moan and you can groan and you can complain about it, and the entire time that you're out of work, it makes the situation so unbearable. But an optimistic person can view the job loss as a way to forge to a new career. Maybe now you have time to go to school and do something different, something that you've always wanted to do. Maybe maybe this is the time when you go into business for yourself. So if you look at it differently, your experience will be different. It'll change how you feel during the circumstance, how you travel through it, how you experience it. Doesn't change the circumstance. You still don't have a job. However, it will change how you wake up in the morning. You'll wake up in the morning, happy to determine, if you decided, okay, I'm not going to go back to work. I've been babysitting kids. I'm going to open a daycare. Or I've been cleaning houses, I'm going to clean houses. Or I've been making this amazing food, I'm going to start a catering company. And so you wake up so optimistic about, okay, what are my next steps? How can I really embrace this new change that's coming? And how can I do the next thing? When you travel through these unfortunate circumstances like this, we get a chance to experience more ease, more grace, and when you go through something and you choose the negative approach, you choose to fight it with resistance, we wear ourselves out mentally, spiritually, and physically. So you don't want to do that. I tried it both ways. And to go through life, saying that the glass is half empty, having lack of optimism, it results in losing sleep, disconnection in your relationships, a lack of enthusiasm when it counts the most. So optimism can benefit us in so many areas. It can help us build our emotional well-being. It helps us in education. Some of us are taking new classes and doing all. I'm so excited to be finished my classes. I saw Brenda is now working to become a master herbalist. Got through module 1 with flying colors. Yay, Brenda! So that brings you more optimism in, education. Good morning. Good morning. Bringing optimism even to your workplace helps you in your career. Even if your workplace right now in this moment is at home, it just makes you feel better. Optimism brings harmony in relationships. Having a optimistic outlook for the future will help you even in your finances. It helps you in your physical health, and it also helps to strengthen your faith. Being optimistic can help you to feel more in control, even if you're not in control of the situation. You're in control of how you see it, how you allow yourself to experience it. So that part is just so important. So knowing that you're in control automatically changes the game anyway. You can choose to be mad about something, or you could choose to just lean back and let it pass. Because some stuff is not even for us to say. There's more power in silence than yelling and screaming. Somebody might yell and scream at you about something and you decide not to yell back. And they start looking at you sideways because they trying to see, like, why she ain't respond, right? And that might be more scary to the person, the fact that you don't yell and scream back, like, she ain't even say nothing. Why she ain't say nothing? And you just chose to lean back and let it pass. That's not even something that you want to get yourself into, and so you don't. And so by feeling in control of the circumstance, even though you're not in it, helps take away that victim mentality, and it puts you in the driver's seat of the ups and downs that life is going to bring anyway. You can't control it. Life is going to bring it anyway. We can choose not to be victims of life. Life just happens sometimes. We're connected to other people and their actions and their decisions, and sometimes that can have a negative impact on our lives. But being optimistic, even through difficult times, trains our brain to look at the positive, to figure out the best way, in a quicker way, because you're not wasting time being mad and angry and screaming and hollering and all that stuff. Okay, so this is happening. How do I want to show up? How do I want to respond? And you get to choose. You get to choose how you show up and how you respond. I just got a call while we were on a call that said somebody hit the new car. So I could choose to go all off and scream and holler and all that. Or I could just say, well, check for insurance. If they got insurance, great, we get it taken care of. If not, we still get it taken care of. But what we're not going to do is scream and yell and get bent out of shape and do all that stuff, because guess what? It is life, and it is going to happen to each and every one of us every single day. So you get to choose how you handle it. Being optimistic helps you with your emotional well-being. There's so many studies that shows taking on the power of being optimistic improves your emotional well-being. It trains your brain towards finding more optimistic ways of feeling and thinking. You feel more grounded and better able to handle life's trials and tribulations. You can handle these trials and tribulations when they come. Feeling this way helps to, not only ground you emotionally, but it trickles into every other area of your life. Your physical well-being is affected. It helps you to sleep better. You physically don't feel drained and you don't feel tired. You're not focused on the negative, so it does not drag you down. Negative emotions are heavy to carry, so you want to release them as they come up. And when you are more optimistic, more positive minded, when you start talking about making goals towards weight loss and fitness, you think about it differently. All of the things that come with that. You could decide, well, I'm going to get all this exercise equipment. I'm going to get all the fancy exercise clothes. I'm going to buy the drinks and the shakes. But without the positive outlook, the positive optimism, you ain't going to do nothing with all that stuff. Ask me how I know. Ask me how many cute exercise outfits I got. How many times I bought some piece of equipment saying I'm going to do this, that, and the third. But I'm like, man, I ain't gonna. And so we all do it. But being optimistic, when you take on a new goal and decide to create a new habit that's going to, require change is always uncomfortable. But once you get used to the idea that change is good and for our best and highest self, we can reach the new heights and achieve the goals. This optimistic attitude is a surefire way to take on any new challenge one step at a time. Because when I think about how many people really want to lose weight and join the gyms and do all that kind of stuff, it really will give you that can-do attitude. I could do it. And that's with class, that's with, any new goal. And right now, if this pandemic has taught us anything, is that we need to build our skills on our skill sets, whatever that is, because you don't know how the world is going to go or how soon we're going to get to go outside. We don't know. So because of that, we need to build these amazing attitude of optimism. It will give you more energy. You'll feel less fatigue. You'll have higher productivity during the day. I know when I feel good, I definitely do more work. I write more. I reach out to more people. It will give you more successful completion of tasks and projects rather. And on a spiritual level, optimistic people believe faithfully in that their higher power is in control and has their best interest at heart. And so we opt to believe that we are in control of our actions, our choices, and reactions, which makes our journey through life so much smoother. See, I know there's some people in life, right? These people, they wake up in the morning to go outside to argue with a cashier. They wake up in the morning to go outside to argue with people while they drive. They can't wait to argue with somebody. That's just their way. And, this man, I was stuck, couldn't move, somebody's in my way. When he finally was able to get around me, he got around me. He was screaming he was screaming so bad. He was a Caucasian man. He was completely red. And doing all this stuff. And I said, have a nice day. With a big old fat smile. I don't know. He was cussing and everything else. But, some people just wake up like that. I don't even know. That is like so energy draining to be angry all the time. It takes more energy to be angry than anything else. Like, you gotta stay mad. How long you gonna stay mad? Like, when somebody mad, that's what I say. How long you gonna stay mad? You still mad? You big mad or little mad? and I, find a way to lighten them up. Like, that is just too much to carry. You know how bad being angry is to your body? Cancer is a disease of anger, deep hurt, regret, and deep grief. The number one thing, anger. Anger, what you mad about? Let it go. Let it go. And then there's benefits of being optimistic because you are the light bringer. Somebody called me a lighter brighter. You're a lighter brighter. A lighter brighter. I like that. A lighter brighter. So when you are the optimistic one, people like, oh, we're going to invite Darlena. She's the lighter brighter. She's going to bring light to the room. She's going to, be the happy one. And we want the happy people to come. Some people, say, oh, I'm about to have this event and I'm inviting so-and-so and so-and-so. And then they lean in and say, but I'm not going to invite, because every time they come, they bring all kinds of drama. We don't want them. Don't be that person. If you notice that people are always doing stuff, even in social distancing, people having little get-togethers with 3 or 4 people. If you never one of the people, it's probably you. If you just wish to have better days that flow with joy and ease, taking on optimism not only benefits you, but it benefits everybody. Everybody. We want that. We want that, for our lives. We want that for each other. And being optimistic can be contagious. It can be contagious. It sets the tone on how you expect your day to be, regardless of what comes your way. We set our intentions. So the fact that somebody hit the car is not going to change my day. I'm still going to smile. I'm still going to be happy. I'm still going to do my work, whatever that is. And it invites other people around you to be optimistic as well. When you maintain that attitude, that happy attitude, that optimistic attitude, and you meet somebody who's less than enthusiastic, that can stand the gain from seeing you kind of set the bar for other people. And, they know that you're in control of your demeanor and your actions and your reactions. And so that shows them that they can be in control of theirs as well. You become that. When you bump into negative Nancy or negative Norman, you can still maintain your own equilibrium and invite them to do the same. You become the role model for those people around you. They know don't even come with that stuff. My kids are grown, so sometimes they experience life and they not all like me. They didn't get all the lessons. And so they calling me and they're so upset and they want to yell and scream. And then by the time they yelling and screaming, and I hear them yelling before they say anything, and then they say, Mom, and they calm all the way down so that they can talk to me and determine, how to be calm enough to come up with the result that they need to fix whatever it is that's going on. So people know that about me, so they'll know that about you. They're like, you know what, let me just get a calmer head involved. And that way, once the calmer head is there, then I can get the answers. I can get past being angry, being upset, and getting the answers. And it's really, really true. When you show up as the happy person, when you show up as the optimistic person, you will impact somebody else's day. Sharing a smile, saying to them, oh my goodness, hi, happy, good afternoon, with a great smile. Guess what? That you might make that person's day. They may have left some amazingly terrible circumstance, and just because you gave them a smile or a happy word or opened the door or done something nice for them, you may have made their day and changed the course of their day. It truly is a trickle effect that goes from you and out to everybody who is around you. So you want to continue to do that. And optimism is learnable. It is a learned characteristic. Some people are born with it, but there's a lot of people who weren't and now are, because they have chosen to be more optimistic about their lives. A cheerful disposition, while other people are focusing on negativity, can really change the circumstance around everything. Worst case, people who are always thinking about worst case scenarios, rather, they're always on negative stuff. They're always bringing up the past about things that has happened. For them, that's the way they self-protect. But that is exhausting. That is exhausting, to always remember everything bad, to always feel like life is bad, to remember, remember when that happened to so-and-so, or remember when I lost this, or when I lost that. And, finally you just get to a place where every time I talk to her, she's going to tell me everything that's wrong. And then I break it. Well, tell me what's right in your life. Can you tell me 3 things you're grateful for right now? Let's start with being alive. I remember one time having a conversation with my dad, and I said to him, all these things that was going wrong. And I said, man, I wish it wasn't like this. Like, this is terrible. And my dad said, let me tell you something, honey. Somebody did not wake up this morning to have your problems. Somebody would have loved to wake up this morning and have your problems. I'm like, my problems? Yeah, your problems. And so we got to think about that. God woke us up this morning, and whatever comes our way, we can choose to deal with it in a positive way, or we can choose to deal with it in a negative way. You don't want to be the one that every time something come up, the first thing you start doing is yelling, screaming, and cussing. You're not even going to want to be in your company, because I remember I had this uncle that was always angry. Always angry. And we would have to go over there. It was my dad's sister and her husband. And we'd go there, and my aunt would make us great food and all that. And this uncle will always manage to mess it up. Screaming, hollering, and cussing. We don't have to live that way. We don't want to live that way. It really will keep you, living fully, embracing the things that you are experiencing. It helps you to experience all of the good and all of the positive in every experience. My mom and my dad was so much that way. So much that way. I remember when my dad passed, my mom said, one, if he had a choice, he wouldn't have left us. That's the first thing she said. While we're still standing over my father. And the second thing she said was, this was the best way. Because my dad died suddenly. Went to work, came home, and passed. Right? And my mom was like, this was the best way. And we're looking at her like, what do you mean this is the best way? What she was saying was that my father would not have wanted to be sick. He would not have wanted to had to be in and out of hospitals, or at some point when somebody gets really ill and you have to put the hospital bed in the house, and all that. Sometimes the hospital bed ends up in the living room, and so he just wouldn't have wanted that. He wouldn't have want us to have to take care of him. So there was some gratitude even in that loss. And so we found the positive, and that's the part that I remember about that day. I remember my mother. And so again, it is the power of choice. You get to choose, how you want to, show up for life in the good and in the bad. So not one person can escape the events of life that you'd rather not experience. We can't always control the situations or the circumstance, but we certainly can control our actions and our decisions when it comes to those things. How we react to the unpleasantness that comes up. Having negative feelings and being upset is perfectly understandable. And stuffing your feelings down doesn't work. So you have to allow the feelings to come up to the surface. Because if you don't, they're going to come out one way or another if you try to suppress them. So let them come out. Choose to feel your feelings. Process them. choose to have a more optimistic outlook on the events, that will not only help you to recover more quickly, but will make the journey easier. Everybody, my family is experiencing some, really, tough times right now. My mom is sick and is on hospice at this moment. And, we can choose to argue, fight, scream, and holler with each other about it, or we can take the time that they're allowing us to come to be with her, to sit with her, to be with her through this transition, and be with each other through this transition without arguing and fighting and all that kind of stuff. And that is the route that we have chosen, to gracefully be in this moment, not allowing the emotions of the situation to create more negative experiences on top of a negative experience. So we can choose that. We can choose to look at the ending of something as a new beginning, and from that vantage point, you can see, how you can come out of a circumstance, like job loss. That it might be the ending of a job, but it may be the beginning of a new business. Or the ending of a relationship or whatever. That ending is a new beginning. What can you now do that you couldn't do before? Maybe it was a restrictive relationship, and now you're free to be. And so you're in control of how you feel. We can consciously choose to see the glass half full and not half empty. And when we choose optimism, we take back our power and once again put ourselves back in the driver's seat of our lives. We are not in the back seat and letting somebody else drive us, letting somebody else feeling their emotions and what they want to take us through. No, we back in our own driver's seat, and we leaning back and determining how we want to show up for the situation, how we want to be. We want to be calm. We want to be level-headed. And being optimistic will help us to do that. Being optimistic will help to change your perception of things. We choose what set of lenses that we want to view a situation. Viewing a situation as negative and critical keeps us stuck and stagnant in the circumstance. But when it will make you become your own prison guard and lock you into a negative event, and it makes it feel bigger than what it is. Catastrophic, making something catastrophic. Like, oh my God, some people, they make something small huge, and they get stuck in negative feelings of anger and sadness and worries. But if we change our perception and ask ourselves if these negative thoughts and feelings are even factual, begin to challenge the negative thoughts. When we challenge negative perception and of an experience, we get to make room for a more optimistic and an optimal result. Changing our perception is our pathway to creating a clearer and newer vision for a better result. You choose the lens. You can see it. How you can see it negative, you can see it positive. I promise you, every situation you can see negative or positive. Every situation you can find the negative things about it, and you can find the positive things about it. Again, back to job loss. It is, I can say, oh my God, I lost my job. I don't have no benefits. I don't have no money. I don't know what I'm going to do. How I'm going to pay my rent. How I'm going to buy my good food. I can say all of that. That all of that is the negative, right? Or I can say, I lost this job, but I always wanted to start my own business. I wonder what that would be like. And then I can think positively about, okay, I got this much money in the bank. That's going to take me for 3 months. So I could take the next 30 days and figure out if I can really plan this out right. And by the next 30 days, if you see it coming together, you can see how you can, make the money and so, then you continue. And if you see that you can't, say, okay, I only got 60 days of money left, so let me go ahead and find, some other form of income. And right now, today, there's so many options. You got Uber and Lyft and Instacart and shopping this and this carrier, Amazon. You can be the delivery person. You don't even have to get a boss to get a job. You could just go get it. You could choose a job. I've been hearing Amazon hiring so crazy all over the place. You don't even need an interview. You just got to say, I want to work. And guess what? Amazon will put you to work today. Like, come on in, let us run your background. We run your background, and guess what? You are working in the same week or a couple of days. So many of my family is doing it. So you can go get a job without getting a boss. You still are in control of your hours. If you are an Uber driver or a Lyft driver, and guess what? You don't even have to have your own car to drive Uber and Lyft. You know why? Because they got car programs where you can get a car to drive Uber and Lyft. So you could get something like that and still be your own boss. So there's so many options. Like, okay, I might not have a job, but I can choose to work a different type of job to support me while I'm growing my business. But see, if you in a negative mindset and the glass is half empty, you too busy thinking about all of the things that can go wrong, that, mind you, have not gone wrong yet. You're still good. The light's still on. You still in your house. You still got your car. You still got everything you need. But you done already went left and already saw everything wrong that could have happened, instead of seeing things factually for what it is. And in this moment, you have everything you need. Nothing has happened. And so now you can plan for, okay, what can I do? Do I want to go and be an Amazon driver? I saw an Amazon driver who rented a budget truck. And because of however the pays work and all that, he's able to rent the truck, do the time, and still have plenty of money left over. He's counted the cost. So he's figured it out. We can all figure it out if we allow our minds to do that. As you are looking at things and changing your perception to the positive, not to the negative, changing your perception, you'll be able to see what your options could be. And if you can't do it just yet, then you should pick up your lighter, brighter friend and call them. I call them my Rocket Booster friends. Those friends that can paint a positive picture of you when you can't. Those people who will give you their legs of faith when your legs are wobbly. Those people. If you can't do it for yourself, then call one of them. Making this conscious effort to choose optimism, it clears the pathway for transformation. Knowing that you have the conscious choice keeps you in control. And we're not talking about just being happy and positive and upbeat all the time, because sometimes you just can't. And I am testimony to that. We're just talking about choosing a more optimistic attitude and creating better results by being in that attitude. I'm sure you can think of situations where you have chosen the negative approach and the results that you got, and then the times when you've chosen a positive approach and the results that you got at that point. So changing the perception changes the story that you tell yourself. When we stop making something so big, making an event unpleasant, we rewrite the script to the event. Rewrite it. It doesn't have to be a bad story. It can be a good story, or it could be a funny story. Sometimes you just gotta laugh at it. Challenging yourself to believe a higher thought has the power to produce a positive, life-affirming outcome by being optimistic. I remember calling my dad, telling him that my husband asked for a divorce. And I'm crying. I am crying my eyes out. Dad, he said he would got a divorce. This is my dad. He belly rolls so hard. And I'm like, Dad, that is not funny. He said, girl, you gonna be all right. He said, but that boy, he don't want that. He think he wants that. And my dad laughed. And he saw that I would be okay. That it would probably was better for me. Like, he saw all of that. I couldn't see none of that. I just saw my life was falling apart in that moment. And he kind of pulled me out and helped me to look at things in a different light. And so for me, my dad was always my lighter, brighter. He was always the one who brought the positivity to any circumstance, you know. And so I have grown to be that same person. So, you know, it helps you to also live in the present. You know, living in the present moment, you know, will help you be fully present in the experience. You know, living in fear and anxiety keeps you focused on that. And, you know, it keeps you thinking about what might happen, what might not happen. Like, just be here. Get off the hamster wheel of negativity. It's some people that just negative all the time. If you live in your present moment and enjoy what's good, and that keeps you in the present. Right now, I'm not living in what's happening in my life. I'm living in this moment right here with you right now, sharing this information, bringing knowledge, bringing information that is going to be life-changing for some people, and not living in the sadness that's happening in the background. I'm in this moment right now. You know, focusing what could happen later and in the future can make you sad. Or I remember I was out on leave, and all of the people from my job kept calling me saying, "Girl, wait till you get back. Girl, wait till you get back." And I'm like, "What?" But they wouldn't tell me. They wouldn't tell me what it was. When I got back, they told us that we were going to be getting laid off, all of us. You know, and so when you think about, okay, I know in 6 months we getting laid off. What I'm going to do in 6 months? You got 6 months to plan. That's great. They told you in advance. Some places, they don't even tell you. You come to work and that day is your last day. You don't even know it until after the shift. That's when I say, well, you could have told me that this morning. Matter of fact, you could have called me at home and I wouldn't have never came. Like, I would have been fine with that. I might not have been, you know, happy about it, but I would have rather not got dressed, got cute, and came here for you to tell me to go on home. And so, you know, but, you know, it's all in how you view it, how you see it, you know, and focusing on being grateful in the moment, even for everything. You know, grateful that you woke up, grateful that you have strength in your own body to brush your own teeth, to brush to do your own hair, to put on your own clothes, your own shoes, to be able to do that stuff for yourself. You know, science has shown us there's so many benefits for practicing gratitude. It gives you more energy and appreciation for the smaller things in life. You know, it gives you the ability to see the silver lining and bounce back from tragedy even faster. It will cause less fatigue, give you more commitments to physical activity when you're grateful for the body that you're in, grateful for what you have right now. It just gives you more satisfaction in all areas of your life, in your relationships, in your career, and in your home, everything. You know, when we put our focus as human beings, wherever we put that focus, that's where our energy will go. And so by focusing on positivity and gratitude, we open the door for more optimism. Optimism truly is a learned behavior. If you're not born cheerful and happy-go-lucky, you can learn optimism. And one of the surefire ways is by focusing on what you're grateful for. It will increase your disposition, your positive disposition. So choosing to focus on things big or small for what you have to be grateful for puts us in a position of empowerment. We want to be empowered, right? I'm grateful for this curtain behind me to keep the light from shining in my face and you can't see me. I'm grateful for my amazing reading glasses that I get to read the paper that I wrote out. And for technology, to be able to be here with you. There's so many things to be grateful for, small and large. Small and large. So when you choose to do that, you empower yourself. Focusing on all the things that's good, we stand in power. We focus on gratefulness. We create a habit, which we no longer try. We just think about, and it becomes second nature. I'm so grateful for that light. I'm so grateful for my rose cup and my Iris P Moss tea. I'm grateful for it. I'm grateful that somebody told me the benefits of it, and I decided to add it. You know, practicing gratitude can impact relationships. We know that Mr. Motivator and Deidre Lynn started a gratitude journal some years ago, and every day they write in it what they're grateful for each other about. So if you take a moment and write down everything that you're grateful for, at least 5 things you're grateful for your partner, the person that you're in relationship with. If you write down 5 things every day when you start your day, by the time the day moves on, you're focused on what's good about that person, not the annoying things. You're focused on, the things that are good about them, that's great about them, and they're doing that about you. So guess what that does? That refocuses their energy from, she's so nagging, or he's so annoying. It focuses energy on, I love the way she cooks for me. I love the way he fixes things around the house. I love it when he drives me places and I don't have to take myself. I love it when she cleans the house or washes my clothes. It changes the focus of everything. It helps you to get to, that good side of your relationship that you started with. When we focus on that, we get away from they got to be perfect. And then you can see more of what's good in your relationship. And by choosing that, it expands the opportunity to grow the positivity in the relationship. Let's see. How do I... Deidre Lynn, unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself. I think you can. I got it where you can unmute yourself. Hold on. Let's see. I think you unmuted. You unmuted.
Thank you. Oh, freaking OG. That is so wonderful that we talked a little bit about where you're at right now, optimism. And I'm always like, what is that?
Yep.
Optimism or optimistic? I don't even know.
Yes.
That's one of those words.
Yeah.
But, guys, all I can say is, Rose, you're the bomb.
Thank you, darling.
You hear me? and when
it's all the awareness. It's all about awareness. Training your brain, the awareness and willingness, setting your intention to show up better, to be better. All of that is so important to do. And it changes your outlook on everything. You see your life through rose-colored glasses. You see the glass always half full. And that's always been the way. That's the way I was raised. That's the way that I choose to be. And it is a happy life doing it that way. Uh-oh. Did you mute yourself? Hold on. Uh-oh. Wrong button. Yep. Muted yourself. Okay. You unmuted.
There it is. All right. So at the end of the day, it is just like And it's so easy to just think happy thoughts. And I didn't realize, I asked Dee when we was coming up, I said, do you really have control over that?
You do.
You hear me?
You do.
like, can you really choose to do that if you really, I thought it was like, a gift or something. I didn't know. I really thought I was a little, like, because people will actually question, like, why you always so damn happy? I don't know.
Even amidst trauma, you can choose happy. I'm grateful for you too, Charlene Weiler. My sister is watching on Facebook. We're all in this experience together, and it's not easy. And some moments it's not easy, but we can choose. We choose how we get to show up for ourselves, and that shows us how to show up for each other. Because some of us, in my family, is 8 of us, 8 siblings, and some of us are doing okay, some of us better than okay, and some of us not so much. And so we are leaning on each other, trusting each other, holding each other up through this process. And we're not special in this process. We're not the first people to have a parent in hospice. We're not the first people to lose a parent. And so, we are being the evidence that you can go through the process in grace.
Wow. That is so, so good. And I'm just thankful at the end of the day that many of us come here every day to work on us.
Yes.
Nothing else. Just work on you. I can't make you happy, but I can definitely make me happy, right? So when you hear me say control, you can. It's like I keep on saying it. I'm gonna say it all day. When Tony Robbins said, "When I realized that you had the power to take control over this month, it's a wrap, guys. I promise you, your life is all like at the end of the day." I said, "Look, everything we need is right there inside of you." And when you start seeing these things, people say, "Hey, do we have to show up like that to a funeral?" No, you don't. Do you have to act like that when something is not right? No, you don't. Can you count it all joy, Darlene? Hell yeah. Take control over your life. Thank you so much, Darlene. Y'all better give it up for woohoo, Darlene Rose, boy. I swear to God. You make your life look real good, honey.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that being said, guys, take control over your life, because if you don't, somebody else will.
Yep.
It ain't even worth it. At the end of the day, it belongs to you, so you might as well go live it. We got one life to live. We're going to live the life we can live. Period.
Absolutely.
Have a good day.
All right. Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Facebook family, for being here with me and my Life Changing Alliance family. We are on our Zoom platform every Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Doing personal development. Right now, we read books together. So we are now reading The Wisdom of Sundays by Oprah, which is a bunch of Super Soul Sunday interviews that she's done. And so, we do that. We are taking our personal development very, very seriously. And so on Wednesdays, I do Well-Being Wednesdays or Wellness Wednesdays and bring all kinds of information to help you to grow emotionally, physically, spiritually, all of that. Everything that I learn and all that kind of good stuff is where, we are, where we are. And so hopefully you got some good information on training your brain to be more optimistic, being aware if you're somebody that's negative all the time, so you want to work on that, and choose happy. You want to choose happy, choose gratitude, and I promise you it will absolutely change your world the way you see it. So thank you again for being here. Have an amazing day on purpose. Bye for now.